Good evening, butterflies. I hope you guys have had a great day. This morning we got to talk about midnight, and then during the afternoon we had a special kind of nature hike where we got to find ideas and stick them onto our bracelets. I had so much fun doing those ideas with you today that I thought I would bust out my Pete the Cat ears and read you one of our favorite books in the butterfly room. Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues. Remember, this is by Kimberly and James Dean. They are both the author and the illustrators for Pete the Cat. Oh, I gotta remember, you guys love this idea. So we look at Pete and all his different ideas. He's wearing pajamas. There's Pete the Cat dressed up like the dinosaur. Oh, Pete, you're so silly. And of course, Pete the Cat in a box. Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues. Pete and the gang had such a great day. They'd been at the beach, sun and surf and tons of fun. Look, butterflies, they're all on top of a surfboard. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. Pete had an idea. If you look here, butterflies, you see the light bulb. That's some way of showing an idea. Hey, how about a sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy. Pete's Place. Let's go. Look, they're all on their way. The party was far out. They knew they couldn't stay up all night. The gang decided it was time to say good night. On went the pajamas, and out went the light. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. And good night, Pete. Look, all of his friends are sleeping on the floor. Pete was just about to catch some Z's when clap, clap, clap. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Grumpy Toad. I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap instead. And Pete, he covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Time to sleep. Pete tried again to catch some Z's when rat-a-tat-tat. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Glus the platypus. I don't want to go to bed. I'd rather jam instead. Pete, oh, he covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Time to sleep. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes to catch some Z's when he heard munch, munch, munch. Pete had a hunch. It was Alligator. He was always up for eating. What could Pete do? All the clapping, the rat-a-tat-tatting, and the munching was all given him the bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea. He got out one of his favorite bedtime stories and he started to read. First to himself and then to the gang. If you look here, Pete's book, it says Pete the Cat and the 10 Little Monsters. So even Pete is reading a book about Pete. That's great. Pete noticed that it was finally quiet. No more clapping. No more rat-a-tat-tatting. And no more munching. They had all settled down and no one made a sound. Pete yawned. And he turned off the light. Good night. Sleep tight. Time to catch some Z's. Tomorrow was another day for surfing and sun and tons of fun. Love you, butterflies. Hope you guys have a great night.